As I've mentioned in many videos, I'm a big fan of the latest iteration of the Vital Bracelet. While it's not exactly perfect and still has a few minor problems and issues, I really do like it, but I should also go through everything that's wrong with the Digimon Vital Bracelet BE. As I said, as I start the video, I'm a big fan of it, but there are a few things that just aren't quite right with the Vital Bracelet. Of course, it's still an improvement over previous models of the VB, that being the Vital Bracelet Digital Monster, the Vital Hero, and the Digivice V. There's just a few things that you should know if you haven't already bought a Vital Bracelet BE. Now, before I go over my main issues with the BE, it is worth noting that a lot of these issues have been fixed with custom firmware and modding. However, I've chosen to review the Vital Bracelet BE as it's been officially released and in terms of official firmware and updates, so I'm just covering the official release of the BE. So that's before I say something and you go to the comments saying, but it's been fixed in custom firmware. Yeah, I'm aware of all the custom firmware that is available, and I know that the custom firmware does fix a lot of issues that people have with the BE, but I'm just going over the official release as it's been released. So, still, as I've mentioned in various videos, I'm a big fan of the BE, and if you're interested in getting a Vital Bracelet, I would still recommend getting a BE over any of the previous models because of the amount of quality of life improvements that the BE introduced, but I still feel like I should highlight the things wrong with it now that I've had my BE for 5 months now, I think, or nearing 6. It released in November, it's now mid-April, so here I go. My main issue, and this is an issue that existed in the Digivice V, or at least I've experienced it on the Digivice V, and I was kind of hoping that this issue would have been fixed in the BE, and it's to do with the actual hardware, the actual physical BE, so it can't be patched or fixed by any official fix or even unofficial fixes, and that is the fact that the buttons have issues. Now, I mentioned in a previous video, I believe it was my Vital Hero unboxing, that after about 6 months of running my Digivice V, the bottom button lost its clack. It still worked, but it didn't have like a button sound when you clicked it. It worked, and then about a month after that, the button itself stopped working. Now, I've had my BE for, as I mentioned, 5-ish months. I'm now experiencing that with my BE. The button still works, but there's no press to it. The top button makes the usual, press, you can feel it being pressed. This one, it just feels a little bit soft, and I know from having the same issue with my Digivice V is that that's a bad sign, as again, my Digivice V basically has a non-functional button. It only works sometimes. You kind of have to shake it into position, I guess, I don't know. And it's a problem that I would have hoped would have been fixed on the BE. So it's just this kind of not fantastic build quality that the BE has. This is my main issue with the Vital Bracelet BE. I didn't know this was an issue until fairly recently when it happened to me. I thought that, hey, maybe they've fixed it. So this is just an issue that I didn't mention in any of my other videos because I wasn't aware of it, as the BE was new in my original review videos. So that's a big problem. If that's going to really upset you, I don't recommend getting the Vital Bracelet BE because I've heard other people have also had this issue with the BE, and because I had it with my Digivice V, I guess 6 months is about the lifespan of a Vital Bracelet BE, so a bit of a shame there. I have heard that if you press down hard, you can kind of click it back into position. I have not had luck with that. I'm very hesitant to use the bottom button, and I'm using it as as least as I can, because I don't want to escalate it into the not working like I did with my Digivice V. So that's a main issue that I have. The next thing is that while I love that the BE shows your evolution requirements for BE memories and DIM cards when you go to the stats screen, I really appreciate that. It shows you all the Digimon it can evolve into and what requirements you need to fulfill to get that Digimon. That's great. However, one small thing that I would have preferred is if they had those Digimon like in a silhouette or a shadow, kind of like they have in the app, just to help me kind of like, I don't have to think, hey, have I had that character before? I can't quite remember because it's on another DIM card and I'm not sure if I've had it before. Like, I don't have to check the app. It'll be nice if I could just see which characters I've had and which ones I haven't, just from the Vital Bracelet. But again, I'm a big fan of the fact it shows you those requirements, it shows you what Digimon, and it shows you the timer for when it's going to evolve. Because the previous models of the Vital Bracelet didn't show you that, and they didn't show you the time to evolve either. You had to go into the app to check that. So I do like the fact that it shows the Digimon there, but I wish it would show me which ones I've got and which ones I haven't got. Another thing to do with the evolving of Digimon, or characters if you're running a non-Digimon BE memory, is that when your Digimon evolve, a screen pops up that says new, and this, you see that even if you had the character before. That feels kind of weird. I'm not sure why it appears whenever there's an evolution, because it just says new, 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 and it's like this big sort of exciting moment. But it's even when you've had the character before. It's just a weird thing. It's just something I've noticed that just doesn't really make sense if you've already had the character. But that's just something I've noticed. My next point has to do with the app, which really has a lot of problems, ranging from overall slowness to minor things like weird word art used in the codex titles. The app will be getting some future updates in the next coming month or so with the Spring Festival. However, as it stands, I'm not too hopeful, considering the last events and updates haven't gone particularly well. I also miss raids that the old app had. It was nice to have that kind of feeling of community. You could kind of do a group raid with various people on Discord or Twitter, and that was kind of nice. It was nice to have that sort of co-op angle. I really miss the raids. I wish we got them again. My next point has to do with the battery of the BE. The original Vital Bracelet and the Digivice V, I could charge every 2 nights, and that was fairly consistent. Then with the Vital Hero and the Vital Bracelet BE, I feel like I'm having to charge it every day and a half. It won't go the full 2 nights that the original and the Digivice V does, and that's kind of annoying. And this is of course on the lowest brightness with no sound. Obviously with more use and with sound and with the higher brightness, the battery will go quicker, as in it'll last less long, I guess. And of course, if you're using NFC more and checking the screen more, that will also lead to the battery not lasting particularly long. And consistently, I've noticed that the battery doesn't seem as good as the Digivice V and the original. I don't know why the Vital Hero, in my experience, the battery wasn't as good. That was a weird one to me because it's more or less the same as the Digivice V, and I was using it the same as the Digivice V. I just noticed the battery wasn't so good, and I'm getting the same experience from the BE as I did with the Vital Hero. So that's just kind of a weird thing. I wish that it lasted the full 2 nights. It's nice. I just usually used to leave it on charge overnight with the Digivice V and the Vital Bracelet. Consistently would do that. And now with the BE, when I was running the Vital Hero, I charge it one night, it goes for the next day and the next night, and then I have to charge it like before lunchtime the next day. And that's just something that I've noticed. And then the next thing is something that I did mention in my review video as something that was a problem with the BE. This has, of course, been fixed with custom firmware, which is why I mentioned custom firmware at the start. And that is to do with the adventure mode on the BE memories. They don't automatically go to the next mission once you succeed and beat an adventure mission. You have to actually interact with the BE for 1, the battle to start, and 2, to go on to the next mission. On the DIM cards, both on the BE, funnily enough, and of course on the original, the DIM card would just let you do the adventure mission. You could basically not interact with your Vital Bracelet all day and have it go through all the adventure missions. And that was pretty cool. And again, it's the same case for the DIM cards if you're running them on the BE. But the BE memories, you have to actually interact with it, which is weird. I don't know why they kept it for the DIM cards on the BE, but they didn't do it for the BE memories. Again, yes, it's been fixed with the custom firmware, but in terms of official firmware, you kind of have to like actually go through the adventure missions and interact with the Vital Bracelet. And speaking of differences between the BE memories and the original DIM cards, the packaging is different, and I really do miss the little plastic holder that came with it. I don't really like having the loose BE memories. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know why. I guess it's to reduce plastic waste, but it just doesn't look as good storage-wise, especially because, as of recording this, there's no official BE memory storage. There was a folder for the DIM cards, and there were 2 DIM card storage little plastic blocks. That's the best way to describe them, at least for now. That's the only word that's coming to me, the little DIM card holders, I guess you could call them. But in terms of for the BE memories, there's nothing unless you use the plastic or you're using the, well, any official, unofficial storage solutions, or if you're using the official DIM card holders that I mentioned earlier when I said DIM card blocks. But in any case, those are everything that I've noticed that's possibly wrong with the BE. Of course, some of these could be fixed with official firmware, and in fact, some of these have been actually fixed with unofficial firmware, and I'm really hoping that those are fixed. The button issue, that's a big one for me, because it's something that can't just be patched in. It's a physical build issue with the Vital Bracelet itself. It's not a software issue, and that's kind of a shame, because it means that if you use your Vital Bracelet every day, which I do, I love my Vital Bracelet, I'm a big fan of it, I love it, I wear it every day. If you do that, it may only last 6 months, which isn't really what you want to hear when you really want to wear something every day, that, oh, you can only wear it for 6 months, then you'll have to replace it. When mine eventually dies, I'll probably have to wear one of my other ones. But not everyone wants to buy multiple BE bracelets because they die after 6 months. It's a shame. I'm hoping that it can be fixed with future releases of the BE. I'm skeptical because it was an issue on the Digivice V and it wasn't fixed I guess a year later. And that's a shame. But overall, I still do love the Vital Bracelet BE. It's just those few things that are kind of like negatives, I guess. And of course, some of these might actually be deal breakers for you. So if you haven't bought a BE and you're still thinking about it, go through the reasons that I've listed. If you want videos where I'm more positive, you can check out the rest of my channel. I'm still a very big fan. Despite all these points, I'm still a fan of the BE. I still love it. It's just a shame, especially about the buttons. I'm very hung up on the buttons, as you can probably tell. But in any case, those are my thoughts about the negatives of the Vital Bracelet BE. Let me know your thoughts, comments, and questions in the comment section below. Like this video for the hope that Bandai's QA gets a little bit better and they fix the buttons at some point in a future release, I guess. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!